Look, I guess community engagement means a relationship with the community, specifically I guess in theatre terms, a relationship with your audience. And to me, it's about a relationship that is actually sitting outside the traditional sphere. Most theatres have a relationship with an audience because an audience buys tickets and goes to see a show. To create deep engagement and more lasting engagement, it's how you actually create that relationship with your audience so that they are engaged outside those 2 hours where they're seeing a show. The 13-storey treehouse. Our creative team here made up a giant tree out of a flat that we put outside the venue and advertised. Come along and tell us what the treehouse needs. Put a post-it note on it. Lovely to see these families and kids coming into the precinct, not necessarily into the venue, but coming into the precinct and putting the post-it notes on and using their imagination. And then that treehouse moved inside for the actual show, so the kids that came to see the show saw their work in the foyer. Their parents get really thrilled in actually seeing little Johnny's, he would like a lemonade machine in the treehouse, or he'd like this. That sort of relationship with the audience, it's really interesting how your relationships then grow, because the ABC bookshop here in Mackay, they became aware that we had the tree. And of course, the ABC bookshop, they got the book, and they said, well, how can we work with you? So we've now got a relationship with the ABC. We've got a dedicated glass showcase, and the ABC stocked that with product of all the forthcoming shows that sit in their repertoire, and whether that's classical music or a children's show. But now we've got a presence in the shopping mall because they do the same for us. So the ABC shop in Mackay has the posters of what's coming up at the Entertainment Centre and Convention Centre. So that's really then starting to create those layers of relationships and that far deeper engagement, because the engagement's now no longer just about a show, it's about a CD, it's about a book. You can see how it's all working, and then the crossover then with our local ABC radio station, who are non-commercial. We can't pay them to advertise, but because we've got a relationship with the ABC shop, they're now eager to get our news and we're going out to their audience. So all these different layers that actually occur, and it's like a human relationship, it's always evolving, nobody wants a static type of relationship, and you've got to keep on thinking. If you've got a show which is physically a one-night stand, the producer and the company are going to arrive in your venue at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to deliver a show at 8 o'clock and bump out that night. There's not too many traditional opportunities, or not too many opportunities apart from your Q&A and your brief workshop. You might have to think outside the square about how the venue can supplement what the producer can do. And certainly in Mackay we do a lot of that because we're a traditional receiving house, 1,090-seat theatre, one-night stands, every day of the week sort of thing. So we've got to work with the producer very carefully to find out what we can do. So Treehouse, really good example. Producer was only going to be arriving in for one day. Not huge opportunities to do Q&As, particularly with primary school kids and that sort of stuff. So working with your local bookshops and coming up with a treehouse design that you can do in-house. It's also tap into your local schools, find out, we do a lot of work, relating to the school syllabus, and certainly that's something that's been great for me here in Mackay, programming particular educational works that, in some ways not knowing why I was doing it. Once I've actually worked directly with educators to find out what they need in the school syllabus, and now I understand when I'm programming a possum magic or a stripey or a wombat stew, the primary schools are actually going to use that not only as an excursion, but they're going to do character studies back at school. So then I can actually start working out some engagement strategies that are going to sit well with the schools that fit into their character studies. So you'll see outside our venue all the carved animals that we've made over the years, effectively, that are from Gary Ginnivan musicals that actually engage the children. So that's a long-lasting legacy in our community. And as the kids get older, they've got such a sense of belonging. There's Possum from Possum Magic, there's the cockatoo from My Grandma Lives in Glory Gulch. And they're just really lovely things. And so when, in the lead up to the show, you've got a local artist out there doing a wood carving that's going to be a native animal that's going to appear in a kid's show, and it relates back to the school syllabus for character studies, Gary couldn't do that for us because he can't afford to send that whole company up 3 days early to do the meet and greets and that sort of stuff. I mean, we're physically a little sausage factory for those shows, like a lot of theatres are. 3 shows in a day, get them in and get them out. But it's how you create that engagement and what the kids or what the adults or what your audience actually wants to get out of it. And so that's where we actually work to find out, okay, schools are doing character studies, how can we support them to do character studies? The schools can read the book very easily, they do that at school, but what can we do as the add-ons to support that? They're then going to create those lasting legacies, and in some ways those lasting legacies are also lasting memories.